And following on, anything out of alignment will often cause that dis-ease, will cause that disruption, that segregation, that separation. That's not a huge problem depending on the severity of the polarity within. That can manifest as a symptom, that can manifest as an illness, that can manifest as a habit or an addiction, that can manifest as a pattern or a mistake, or it can simply manifest as something that doesn't feel quite right. The way that this shows up for me the most is when I am adopting other people's narratives or other people's belief structures or their voice around something inside me that I haven't properly unpacked, I haven't properly moved or lent in towards healing for. And the most important part on that journey is the guilt and shame that comes from our unconscious parts. And I'll break that down a little bit. When we illuminate a part of ourselves, whether that's through an experience or a conversation or a trigger, when consciousness comes to unconsciousness, when a part of the shadow comes out into the light so we can look at it, there's a great revealing there. And it's fairly common for that revealing to come with guilt and shame for where we were before that consciousness was there. That is a necessary part of the human experience. It's a necessary part of healing. We don't want the guilt not to be there. We don't want to avoid the guilt or control it or try and manage it. We also don't want the shame to remain a secret and hidden. We know that avoiding and repressing and staying quiet and in the dark with these emotions will only make them drive deeper into the being. So the guilt and shame that often comes up when parts of us unconscious selves are now illuminated is part of the process. The next step is releasing those emotions that are indicating that this is difficult or uncomfortable, or this has been, or it hasn't been time for this to be unpacked until now, and then moving towards integrating that part into an authentic expression. So that process is different for every part of ourselves. That process is different for every trauma, for every conversation, for every energy center, for every discovery. But on the journey towards authenticity, we need to expect and prepare for an ongoing journey of revelation. It's not that we unpack a bunch of our trauma and we do a lot of healing and we've made it and now we're pretty switched on, we know ourselves, we're pretty confident, and it all ends there, we can go about our day. Although that is an option and there is free will there, of course, to make that choice. But it is more like the self-development discovery or the discovery of the deepest parts of ourselves keep on going and revealing and keep on going. The process does get more manageable because we are allowing these situations to happen in their own time, and timing is an important factor. But knowing that that journey of revelation is our authentic journey. We are at our most authentic expression when we are dedicated to the pathway of that constant revelation. That doesn't mean that we can have times of deep and quick evolutionary revelations, and then slower moving, more quiet times. But I believe that the authentic path and finding the most authentic expression comes from a dedication to allowing that process to unfold constantly and in a creative flow. And this is where we find most of our selves are being revealed, in allowing that to be a big part of our lives, to be structured into our day, into our schedules, into our lifestyles, so that when something comes up, we not only have the resources, we have the foundation of a language that says, well, if I look into this and I have a support base, I will be discovering more of myself and will becoming more authentic. And what that feels like is I become more whole, I become more me, I become more integrated, I become more calm, and I become more well. So all the best to all of you on your authentic path. Please dedicate the time that you need to, and find the resources required to have the courage to dedicate yourself to your own authentic path. Right now at this time, we need as many beings as possible living creative, authentic lives where they can, where their resources allow them to, and we can support each other's authentic path in full ownership of who we are and in full celebration of everyone's individual expression of their truest self. So I hope you relate to this, guys. If you want more videos like this and more in depth and the discussions around it, then please join me at the Healer's Inner Circle on my Patreon page. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me be vulnerable, and so much love to you all.